Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in the European Parliament at the International COVID Summit number 3 with member of European Parliament from Romania, CristianTerhes. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Right now, you shocked the world a while ago during the pandemic when you showed us the redacted Pfizer contracts between the European Parliament and Pfizer, and it was incredible.
And
Moderna, yes. And pretty much everything was blanked out. Now, is this just about money and profit, or is there a greater agenda that you see when we see science being shut down, people being vilified, experts for bringing the true science to debate?
Well, I would analyze this from a different perspective. You know, I'm not stating any conclusion yet, but I'm looking at the facts. So scientists were not allowed to speak and present their findings. Contracts were signed, 70-some billion euros. Purchasing 4.6 billion doses of vaccines. They were told us that these vaccines were safe and effective or efficient. I'm not even looking on the safe side now, but I'm just looking at the effectiveness of this. Initially, they said one shot is enough to provide you immunity. So if one shot was enough, why they purchased 4.6 billion doses of vaccines? There's more than 10 doses of vaccine for every person living in the European Union. More than 10 doses. So when they signed when Ursula von der Leyen, the president of the European Commission, signed those contracts, she knew that one dose was not enough. Otherwise, why would you sign for so many doses? Then when we look forward, we start asking questions, what are the liability clauses? Because we receive reports from many people who had side effects and adverse effects. Some died, in other had, they remain incapacitated. And we said, what are who's liable for after these medical products? Well, the liability clause is part of the contract. I want to see them. That's how everything started. Well, that's not possible. Why? Because it's redacted. So what do you mean? So us in the parliament, we kind of, we have to vote for all these discharges, on how the European Commission is spending people's money, and we are not allowed to see the contracts. That is not okay. So when you look at all these facts, clearly is leading to the conclusion that they have something to hide. Because if they don't have something to hide, why are they hiding it? Why they do it? Clearly they'll do it for financial reasons, but that's not enough. In 2019, Ursula von der Leyen said in the plenary, when she ran to become or to be elected as head of the European Commission, the following, and I quote, carbon emissions must have a price that changes our behavior. So their objective at the end, the stated objective is to change our behavior. How to do that? Through higher taxes, prices, and implicitly more control. And what happened during the pandemic, it was the great opportunity for the governments to impose more control on the people. Just look at the green certificate, for example. I was the one who opposed it from the beginning. Based on, for me, it was a matter of principles. I did not even look into the medical side. I'm not a medical expert, that's not my niche, but from a democratic perspective, from a legal perspective, from a human rights perspective, I said it is not okay. So what did they say? You have to have this in order to facilitate freedom of movement. Well, freedom of movement, it's a basic human right. The government doesn't have to facilitate your freedom of movement. If you allow the government to facilitate your freedom of movement, you allow that the government can obstruct and restrict that movement and that freedom the way they want, which is not okay. So from our perspective in the parliament, we started small, I would say, from small concrete things, but slowly, this movement grew, and we realized that it's more than just what we saw initially. And the fact that we have, now that we are hosting now in the parliament, the 3rd edition of the International COVID Summit, it's an important signal, I would say, to the world that we are keeping the fight on. We are here to fight for the people, for all the people, and at the end of the day, we have to defend the basic fundamental rights of all. That's what we are doing, that's what we promised to do, and that's what we'll keep doing.
Thank you so much. I hope that this summit today opens the eyes and minds of many politicians and people in Europe and around the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much.